So, just as the title says, actually, I've been on a self discovery, reflecting on myself for the past few days, weeks rather. And then I've been thinking like the changes I want to see in my life, things I want to see myself doing, positive and good things I want to see myself doing. And yes, some of my friends assisted me in bringing back my old habits. Yes, one of my habits, like if anyone would ask me, what is your hobby? I would say I love singing, dancing, but reading. And they'll be like, oh, really? You love reading? Like, you read? Who does that? And this time around, reading is boring. That's what they thought. Yes. But for me, reading was like, it was like exploring. It was like this. So, someone saw the book into my life and it's changed me so drastically. And I'm so loving this change. We all know the importance of books, no matter how much we try to deny the fact, no matter how much we try to be like reading is not important. Reading is so important. If you want to improve mentally in any aspect, if you want to improve on yourself, I'll advise you to know a little about everything, but also know everything about something. And surely we can't stop learning about something. So because of that, we have to keep ourselves updated every day to keep reading and studying hard. So today I'm gonna be sharing with you all some basic things I learned about in a book I read recently that has changed my life forever. Changed my life, yes, and I'm so loving this change. And I know you all must have heard about Ben Carson. Yes, he was the surgeon, the first doctor in the history to had done a successful operation on the Siamese twin. Yes, they were conjured in their head, they were joined together, and he successfully carried out an operation whereby both the twin, none of them died. They both survived, and it was a very incredible achievement in history. So yes, I used to hear about this when I was little. Then I used to hear about Ben Carson, and I was like, yes, I want to be great. I want to do stuff like that. I've even watched this movie titled Gifted, and I watched it, and it's a very amazing movie. And so someone gave me this book and was like, hey girl, have you read this book? I was like, not really, but let me just read it. Let me see, because I love reading. Let me just catch a glimpse anyhow. If I enjoy it, I'll keep reading it. If I don't, if I find it boring, I'll just let it go. And so then I got this book titled Think Big. Yes, this is it, titled Think Big by Ben Carson. And I'm going to be sharing with you some things I learned from this book that has changed my life drastically. And I advise you, if you want to get this book, go to any bookshop and just get a copy. It might be, yes, it must have been out for some time now, like years ago, I think, yes. Okay, I learned a lot of things from Ben Carson's childhood when he was in Baltimore, and then that area was not so much that was so developed. He lived there with his parents, and to him, when he was in school, he was not so good with books. He was not so good with books. Like he basically come up top from the back. Yes, basically come up top from the back, and it was so bad. He knew like he knew he was not good. He knew he was not a good student. But what could he have done? He never thought he would come up top anyway. So his mom knew about it, and his mom pretty much got upset with him for coming up, coming last. Of course, every parent will be so pissed off. If I was the one, oh boy, you bring that kind of result to me? Like seriously? No, no. So his mom was pretty upset with him. And so she decided that she needed to do something. Yes, something must be done about this situation. No, my son can't go on like this. My son can't just keep failing. That's so bad. And so then she went and asked God, yes, God who always answers us, she went to ask God for wisdom and how she's gonna treat the boys are boys, because she had two sons then. Ben Carson had an elder brother, and so she prayed and God gave her wisdom. Yes, and how to deal with this situation, because it was a pretty big situation she had at hand. And so then she gave these rules that the kids should not watch too much TV. They should cut up on the TV unless they are done with their assignments, unless they are done studying. And also, she gave them these rules that they had to be reading two books every week. Yes, and they have to give a report about every book they read. At first, the boys, they were like holding back, like, "Mom, that's so not nice of you. First of all, you cut out the television, like you don't want us watching television, and now you just want us to go and be reading books, like two books every week." They were not so happy with what the mom had made. But the mom said, "Oh, you gotta do that. I don't have failures in my house. You have to be successful. You gotta be successful. I've been there. You have to be successful." Because mom was not the type that went to school. She was, for her, she loved education. She wanted her children to become something, and she knows for that to be possible, they needed education. And not just education, they needed to be good with it. So Ben Carson and his elder brother Curtis, they went on with what the mom had said, and they started reading two books every week, and they give a report about it. And slowly, slowly, steady, steady, Ben started loving it. He would go to the library with his brother, and he would pick up any book. At first, he started reading book about the rocks, start reading book about rocks, and then we would study anything about it, basically anything. And when he's going home after going to the library, he would see some rocks on the floor, and then he would pick them, and so it could like relate with what he had read. He'd be like, "Oh, this is the stone I read about in my book," and he would just like try to do some practical thing about it. And so he continued with that, he continued with that attitude, continued reading two books every week. So one day in school, his teacher was in class. Guess what happened? I'm sure you're not expecting it. Okay, his teacher was in class, and he asked the question. Hopefully, nobody was wanting Ben to answer anything, because they all thought he doesn't know anything. So the teacher asked the question. No one knew about it. And Ben, little Ben, was like, "I do. I know it. I can answer it." Everybody looked at him. "Seriously? Okay, go on," the teacher said. And he stood up and gave a definite reply. And the teacher was so amazed, like, "Wow, what's this guy doing? Like, he's really, 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 really good now." And so he commended him and asked the class to clap for him. And yes, Ben Carson was improving, and he liked it. So with that attitude, Ben Carson knew that yes, what he's doing indoors is actually yielding fruit, actually yielding something good. So he keep up at it, and that was how his result from F F F got to A's. And for those who think that we can overload the human brain, I want to read something for you from this book, and it says, "First, we cannot overload the human brain. This divinely created brain has 14 billion cells. If used to the maximum, this human computer inside our heads could contain all the knowledge of the humanity, from the beginning of the world to the present, and still have room left over." Isn't that amazing? Second, not only can we not overload our brain, we also know that our brain retains everything. I often use the saying that says, "The brain acquires everything that we encounter." The difficulty does not come with the input of information, but in getting it out. Sometimes we file information randomly or tie significant bits of information to information of little importance, and it confuses us. So now that's enough for you to know that we can't possibly overload the human brain, because we have a lot of cells on our brain that can take anything, capture any memories whatsoever. Just that it might be difficult for us to retain it, but steady updating of the brain, reading, updating yourself, you possibly can retain everything on your head. And another significant thing was that Ben Carson was blessed with a super mom. Like, he had a mom that was so understanding, so caring. If the mom wasn't caring about the son well-being, she wouldn't have prayed and asked for wisdom so she could direct her children in the right path. It takes a caring and a righteous and knowledgeable lady to do that kind of thing. And yes, she did the right thing, because it improved our children's life drastically, from an F level to a wavy level. And so that was absolutely the best thing, one of the best things she did for our boys. And I can say that maybe not many of us are blessed with people like that in our life, people to encourage us, people to pray for us, to make us become better persons. But I just want to tell you that you watching me right now, and I just want to be the person to tell you that you can be anybody if you only believe and you think big and you keep working hard and you keep reading and studying and keeping yourself up to date with what you want to become in life. And I tell you that nothing can ever stop you. Ben Carson did not let his background determine me how great he was gonna become. He did not use that as an excuse at all to not be great. Rather, he used it as a stepping stone to become what he wanted to become. So many of us are like, because we're not opportune or privileged to have some certain things in our life, so we can't stay the level that we are. And that's a big no. You don't know how far you can go except you keep going and not just wallowing whatever situation you are in. So I believe that if you could do it, then you can do it, and anyone can do it. You just have to trust the process and trust God. That is it. And be hardworking too. So, how many of you have given up reading? You think that books are for the nerds, the intelligent ones, all this kind of thoughts? I'll tell you, if you want to be somebody in life, you have to study. Study to show the self-approved. In anything you want to do, you have to learn more about it. And in learning, you have to devote yourself to reading. It might be you have to be focused. And there's a saying I learned from this book, and it says, if you want to be different from everybody else, because the world has a lot of everybody else, if you want to be different from everybody else, you have to do things that everybody else doesn't do. Yes, you have to be different from everybody else. Someone might say you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh well, but just do it and take pictures and show them. Let them know that you're not limited. You cannot be limited. So if you want to be something you know that the world has never seen before, if you want to be like a great person, why don't you just go into the biography and see how they lived their life, the necessary things they did. You can't just say you want to be great and you're not working towards it. You're just there wishing and aspiring. You have to work towards it, and you also have to read, because this generation, we don't read no more. We're so lazy to read. We feel that reading is just not necessary, but reading is absolutely what we need, because that's where informations are for